Thank you for joining us on the Sports on Prime. I'm Gary Al Smith. We begin with the news that the annual Premier League Board Awards is set for early next year. Now, some of you, or most of you, will not be happy about that because the Ghana Premier League finished what seems like ages ago. And why would we be having the Premier League Board Award next year? But that's according to Ashford Tete Oku, the chairman of the board.
In the past, when there was a sponsor, funding is, normally obtained from whatever money they give. It's ring fence, and then we go ahead and organize. In the absence of a headline sponsor, it's always something on the GFA to do. We have submitted a budget to them. Behind the scenes, there is an awards planning committee under Mr. Jojan Waku. They are putting pieces together, and once the greenbacks flow, definitely we'll come out with the awards.
So what's the time frame that you've given yourself for the awards to happen?
Yes, if we get funding now, we should be able to do it. But we'll definitely have to organize it mid-January also.
Meanwhile, the representatives of Ghana's Premier League that will be going to Africa are in the news. Kotoko's management must set a realistic target as they go to Africa. That's according to their former boss and now Black Princesses coach Didi Dramani. Don't forget that Kotoko will be representing Ghana in one of the club competitions on the continent, and recruitment, cash, and other variables are being put together for them to have a successful campaign.
And for me, I think that we need to set realistic targets. We need to try to do well in Africa. We should not push ourselves to the extent that we can do it. Yes, we can, but we need to start doing it. We need to put in place the right structures. We need to do the right planning. Is it possible we have been able to scout on our opponent so far? Is it important we have been able to scout beyond the levels of the opponent to see how Congo looks like at the time we'll be playing the games? Do we have the experience of these players going up to that level? If you speak about Sadiq and then, Ahmed Adams, some few ones, yeah, you say experience-wise they are okay. The Ghanaian league is not the same thing as the African terrain. TP Mazembe didn't just go in the first year. I know they started their route in 2012 when I first went to Kotoko. I was losing Daniel Nieje and then Yao Frimpong to Kotoko, and I was going to play in Africa. Later on, I lost Ben Achampong. Later on, I lost Gideon Ba. Later on, I lost a couple of players, but I was venturing into Africa. You can understand that you might lose a player, but the replacement should be, with brackets, with age and abilities, because you need to have players who are effective and efficient. If the player is effective and is not efficient, at the end you don't get anything. But I want to wish that Kotoko have started their preparation. Maybe the preparation is for the league and then the confederation. I can only wish them well.
Speaking of Kotoko and former CEO Herbert Mensah, these days he doubles more in rugby than in the beautiful game. He's in the news. He's reiterated his commitment to the development of the sport. He is speaking his capacity as a president of the Rugby Football Union of Ghana.
We've taken up the rugby mantle, and it's been the greatest year because we become full members of World Rugby for the first time ever, in a quicker time than I believe any other nation in Africa has ever done, which means that we have shown the ability to comply, to govern, to adhere to rules and regulations, and take a global approach to the development of the game in Ghana. We won the regional tournament this year, coming out unbeaten, and we applied and fought, and we've been promoted in our category to what we call the Bronze Cup. So for the first time ever in Ghana's history, we are now recognized and playing in the Bronze Cup that starts in May. On top of that, we got an invitation to the Kampala Africa Sevens, and we got a Africa ranking, which we never had before, number 9. So we are 3-4 years ahead of time in terms of where we have gone. And now that the new season is already almost over here in Ghana, we've hit extra milestones. We, for the first time ever, have started a ladies' league, and we have 5 clubs who are actually participating. This World Rugby is massively impressed with. So we have ladies' teams here in Accra, in the Cape Coast Takoradi area, competing on a weekly basis for the first time ever. And this is more than surrounding countries have been able to do. So it's another major achievement. I think finally the year has ended with the shock news that Ghana may host the Bronze Cup here. So we've been promoted and we may host it here in Ghana next May.
To England now, and Pep Guardiola is being talked about in certain terms. Some have run out of adjectives to describe him. Jamie Carragher and others have said that it's time to tip the hat for him, especially Tim Sherwood as well, who said that a couple of days ago. One of the things that has been said is that he is going to superintend over a side that's going to have an unprecedented quadruple. They're going to win everything: Champions League, Premier League, EFL Cup, FA Cup. But he says to slow down.
Maybe putting the sale signs up outside Manchester City's club shop, but there's absolutely nothing discount about the football that Manchester City have treated their fans to so far this season. Progressing to the League Cup semi-finals has even prompted talk of winning the quadruple, but not for Pep Guardiola.
Of course not. So, come on, that is unreal. What we are living is unreal. So you believe that is not going to happen. With the situation to winning 60 games in a row, 60 or 70 in the league, and now still we qualify for the Champions League 2 games before the finish the group stage, and now being here playing with a lot of young players, and that is not normal. In football you drop points.
Guardiola can try to keep a lid on expectations, but that's proving more and more difficult. And the fans' Christmas shopping believe that they could well be sat with a very different collection of cups come May.
A bit too early to say, but I'm very optimistic.
Definitely early, but I'm optimistic about anything really this season, to be honest. I'm hoping so, fingers crossed, but I'm an old-fashioned blue, so these glasses are always half empty.
Excitement amongst the fans, but the players have claimed all season that they're just taking it one match at a time. And Ilkay Gundogan insists the challenges will only get bigger.
We are expecting, a lot of quality players against us, a lot of quality teams against us over the next couple of months, and you need also a little bit of luck, in specific situations during the game. The players, and when it's going perfect, needs to stay healthy, and you need to focus on what you have to do.
And that's the sport for the moment. However, as usual, the football show is at 10:30. We have more in terms of the international news highlights. Join us, and then we'll be taking your calls as well. That will be at 10:30 here on the Joy News channel. For now, I'm Gary Elspeth. I'll see you soon.